It was a sunny Saturday afternoon when Danielle Carter, a single black mother in her mid-30s, took her 8-year-old son, Malik, to the local park. She wore jeans, a plain hoodie, and sneakers, nothing out of the ordinary. As Malik played on the swings, Danielle sat on a bench, occasionally checking her phone and scanning her surroundings, as she always did. Years of training had made it second nature. A group of officers on patrol noticed her. They whispered among themselves, pointing toward Danielle. To them, she looked out of place. One officer muttered that she seemed suspicious because she kept looking around and checking her phone. They decided to approach. Ma'am, can we ask what you're doing here? One officer demanded, his tone already loaded with suspicion. Danielle looked up calmly. I'm watching my son, she replied, nodding toward Malik. That's not what it looks like, another officer said. We've had reports of strange behavior. Mind showing us some ID? Parents nearby started watching, some whispering. Malik jumped off the swings and ran toward his mom, worry written across his face. Danielle stood slowly, keeping her composure. You think I'm suspicious because I'm sitting here quietly? She asked, her voice steady but firm. The officers stiffened. One reached for his radio, she sighed, reached into her bag, and pulled out her badge. Special Agent Danielle Carter, FBI. She held it up in front of their stunned faces. The officers froze. Their arrogance drained instantly, replaced by stammering apologies. The crowd watching now shifted, murmurs of disbelief filled the air. Malik smiled, proud of his mom. Danielle leaned closer to the officer who first confronted her. The only suspicious behavior I see here, she said quietly, is profiling a black mother in front of her child. The officers backed away, embarrassed, while Danielle gathered Malik's things. As they left the park, Malik tugged at her hand. Mom, you showed them. Danielle smiled down at him. Always remember, Malik, never let anyone decide your worth by the color of your skin. Let your strength speak for itself. And with that, the single mom who happened to be an FBI agent walked away, leaving behind a powerful lesson for everyone who witnessed it. Would you like me to expand this into a longer cinematic story with multiple scenes and dialogues, like for a short film, or keep it short like a viral YouTube story script? Later that evening, the incident didn't end at the park. Word had spread. Parents posted videos online showing the confrontation. Within hours, the footage went viral. FBI agent mom stands up to cops who profiled her. At the local precinct, the officers involved were called into a meeting with their captain. He wasn't pleased. You had a mother profiled in front of her child, and not just any mother. An FBI agent, he snapped, slamming the report onto the desk. Do you realize how bad this looks? Meanwhile, Danielle received a call from her bureau supervisor, Agent Carter. We saw the footage, the voice said. You handled yourself with professionalism. But the bureau's already getting calls about this. Danielle knew what that meant. Sometimes it wasn't enough to wear the badge. Being a black woman in law enforcement came with double the burden. That night, Malik asked her, Mom, are they going to be in trouble? She hugged him tightly. Maybe. But the real trouble is the system that taught them to see us as suspicious in the first place. 2 weeks later, the city held a community meeting about policing and racial profiling. The mayor invited Danielle to speak. At first, she hesitated. She never liked the spotlight. But when she saw Malik sitting in the front row, nodding proudly, she knew she had to. Standing at the podium, she looked out over the crowd. You all saw what happened at the park, she began. I'm not just an FBI agent. I'm a single mother. And what happened to me happens to countless black families every day, except they don't always have a badge to protect them. The room grew silent. Even the officers sitting in the back lowered their eyes. Danielle's words struck deep. By the end of the night, the city council voted to introduce mandatory anti-bias training for all officers back at the park. Malik ran across the grass laughing, free of fear. Danielle watched from the same bench. This time, when an officer walked by, he smiled and nodded respectfully. Danielle smiled back. Quietly, she thought, maybe change doesn't happen all at once. But today, we planted a seed. Backhand index pointing right. Would you like me to take this even further into a full short film style script, with camera directions, scene cuts, and dialogue, or keep it as a story continuation for reading? The aftermath at the station is next part. The precinct's atmosphere was heavy. Officer Reynolds, the one who first confronted Danielle at the park, sat stiffly in the captain's office. Sweat beaded at his temple. You embarrassed this department, the captain said coldly. Do you realize the PR nightmare this is? The city council is already calling me. You didn't just profile a woman, you profiled a federal agent. Reynolds muttered. She looked suspicious. The captain leaned forward, eyes blazing. Suspicious? Sitting on a bench, watching her son? That's your justification? Silence. Reynolds glanced at the floor. The captain sighed, rubbing his forehead. You're suspended, effective immediately. And the department is opening an internal review. Dismissed. Reynolds walked out, face pale. Other officers avoided eye contact as he passed. Word had already spread. The man who tried to check an FBI agent and got burned. That same evening, Danielle was at home, making dinner while Malik worked on his homework. The news played faintly on the TV in the background. A reporter spoke. Today, the city police confirmed disciplinary action against officers who profiled Special Agent Danielle Carter. Malik looked up. Mom, everyone knows now. They know you didn't do anything wrong. Danielle smiled softly, stirring the pot. That's not the point, baby. What matters is, they think twice before doing it to the next family. Later that night, Danielle's phone buzzed. It was an unknown number, Washington, D.C. She answered. Agent Carter? The voice on the other end was firm but respectful. This is Deputy Director Harris. We've been monitoring the situation. I want you to know the Bureau stands behind you. But more than that, we'd like you to join a new initiative on community relations and law enforcement accountability. Danielle froze for a second, then glanced at Malik playing on the floor. She straightened, voice steady. I'll do it.